Okay, so second week with the new streaming service. Where'd my chat work? There you are. Can anybody tell me? My sound good? The video good? What are we seeing here today? Everything look better? Do. Say hello, people. Bella says I want to sleep in your arms, people. Oh. All right. So, while I'm waiting for a little bit of feedback, just know that not 10 minutes ago I had a complete computer crash. You know, that whole blue screen of death. Keeping our fingers crossed that it doesn't happen again. If it does, we'll postpone this until next week. Um, if we're blurry, if the sound quality is bad today, I will end this stream and restart with the old service. According to Facebook, we're still waiting to go live because you know there's a delay. So, just going to chit chat for a minute, let you guys try to catch up. Today we're going to talk about how to calculate your pricing. And this is something that you should do once a year. Good morning, Mashid. Can you see and hear me okay? That's the big question of the day. So we're going to talk about pricing. I know nobody wants to talk about pricing because, yes, you need to know pricing, but nobody wants to do the math that helps you figure out your pricing. And the math includes, hey, Jesse, good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you. Your pricing includes your numbers. What are your expenses that you need to cover? What is your overhead? Again, another expense item. What does it cost to build your product? Guys. And those are the numbers that we're going. Oh, thank you, Jesse. You see everything okay? All right. So what are the costs to build your product? And that's what we're going to talk about. And these are numbers that you should probably look at and evaluate at the very least once a year. In our current economic climate, maybe more often. We have threats of shipping yard strikes. That's going to affect your pricing. It's going to take longer for your supplies to get here. And when your supplies do get here, the price of those supplies is going to increase. We have the threat of extreme tariffs coming in the next 4 years. Well, next year, day one is what we're promised. But those tariffs are, think of it like taxes to foreign countries. Foreign countries want to ship product to us, things that we use in our products. They want to ship the supplies we use. Well, they put a price on that supply that's supposed to cover all of their expenses. What it takes to make that supply, what it takes to package it, what it takes to ship it. Now, once that's done, our government's going to say, well, before your product can land on our shores, you're going to have to pay a tax. We call it a tariff. Well, they're already paying a tariff. but the information, as I understand it, is they're going to double those tariffs. They double the tariffs. That means, again, whatever we're getting from overseas is going to increase. And those are all prices that are going to affect the cost of your supplies, and which is ultimately going to affect the price of your product. So again, this is something that we should do at least once a year and maybe twice a year. I know Barb and I had a short conversation, and she does her pricing. No, she does her pricing twice a year, every 6 months. Does that sound about right, Barb? Speaking of Barb, say hello, Barb. So, new streaming service. Oh, gone quarterly. Barb is doing her pricing quarterly now. You guys know quarterly is like every 3 months, 4 times a year. And it's important. Oh, Frank's here. Good morning, Frank. So with that in mind, I want to talk to you about calculating your pricing. Hold on one moment. Of course, I'm doing everything. Frank's agreeing. He says that's how it works in England too, with imports, tariffs. Okay, maybe we should all move to England. Are your tariffs lower than ours? I bet they are, or at least they will be. So, I want to talk to you about pricing. And of course, remember I said I had a really big crash. So now I'm waiting for there it is. And again, just in case, if everything should shut down, we'll postpone this. I think this is really good morning. Good morning, Cindy. Enjoy the baby shower. Make a diaper cake. Oh, I gotta get used to these buttons. Okay, so I want to introduce you to somebody. Stay where you are. It's too expensive here. Frank, I don't know if you've heard, but there's a lot of us that have been considering leaving the country. Yeah, some of us can't afford to do that. Okay, so back to pricing. I want to introduce you to somebody I know that can help you with your pricing. Now, he's not here in studio, but it's a name that I've mentioned before. Oh, wonderful. Cindy's going to listen while she's driving. I want to talk to you about Aaron Montgomery. Aaron Montgomery is a business consultant. In my world, he's a business consultant with a twist. His goal is to help you build your business, not by telling you the best place to find your customers, but first helping you identify who your best customer is. He's not going to tell you how and where to advertise, but he will help you market your business to those that need your product, your best customer. And there's more. He'll help you understand and remember your personal balance. This means how you build your business without losing your personal identity. And today, I wrote all of this down. And today we're going to share the math to find your pricing, something you should do twice a year, at the very least once a year. And we're heading into the new year, so this is a good time to do it. Aaron has a wonderfully built spreadsheet that can do all the math for you. You have to collect your numbers, but you can plug these numbers into the spreadsheet and it will do the calculations. I want to suggest that, got to get to my captions. Yay! That you go to his website and check it out. He has several things on his website. He's also the author of The Fundamentals of Business Success. Oh, come on, Bella. Let me have my arm. A very, very, very good read. That book is available on his website and on Amazon. He has YouTube channels, Rising Tide Talks, Making Business Fun Again. He also has a lot of tools and resources on his website. I want to strongly encourage you to take a look at his website and see what he has there that will help you. And I got cats all over the place today. Let's see. Yeah. Remember, I said I wrote all this down. As a small business owner operator, we all want to do the fun stuff. We all want to make the product we're selling. And as wonderful as that is, we still need to do the not so fun stuff. One of those not so fun things is calculating your pricing and all the math that goes with it. That is why we're going to talk about today. To start, we need to gather our numbers. Let's start with overhead. Does everybody understand overhead? Overhead includes all those expenses that happen that are not directly related to building our product. Things like your rent, or and if you're working out of your home, it would be the percent of your expenses that is used for your business. I know this is going to get a little tricky. Your house contains all these rooms. All of these rooms make up 100% of your house. Everything that you pay for in relationship to your house pays 100% to the house. Mortgage or rent, utilities, taxes, all of that. That is all 100% of your house. Now, if you're working from home, you're using a portion of your house for your business. Well, that portion of your house no longer becomes your living area. So you're going to figure out, if you're using 10, let's make this easy. Your house is 1,000 square feet. That's a tiny house. Your office area, your craft area, your business area is a 10 by 10 room in that house. That is 10% of your total house. So 10% of all the expenses that you use to pay for the house is a business expense. So again, all of that is your overhead. All of the indirect expenses that you need to pay for to work in your space, to build your product. Then you have other expenses. You have your product expenses. In the embroidery world, it's thread, stabilizer, fabric, tools. Your machine is a big expense. The money that we spend to build our product, fabric, what else is there? Little hand tools, rulers, everything, all those numbers. Okay. Now those numbers are going to be hard to calculate because, are you going to go down and calculate how much your cone of thread costs per meter, and then calculate how much thread you're using on a daily basis? No, you're not. But what you are going to do is if you bought 6 cones of thread in the month of January and 4 cones of thread in the month of March, that's 10 cones of thread, and you're going to calculate out what the cost of that thread was. Here's another one. You want to be paid for your work, right? Don't forget to include your wages. What do you want to make per hour? What are your employee wages? Barb, you're absolutely right. Aaron's book is a good read and lots of information. He has Small Business Saturdays at noon. That would be today. Central Time. Great information. Is that does he post that on YouTube? It would probably be, we'll have to find the YouTube link. So everything that you spend money on, including your wages and the wages of anybody that's working with you or working for you. And there's one other expense. It's an expense that people seem to forget. Things wear out. Thank you, Barb. Yes, YouTube and Facebook. There's an expense that people tend to forget. Things wear out. You're going to have to replace your equipment at some point. A $25,000 embroidery machine, though it should last a long, long time. Or maybe you just want to add an embroidery machine to your studio. So you need to calculate what you need to put aside in anticipation of that expense. Does that make sense? Those big expenditures, you need to budget for them. She just does not want to get down today. You need to budget for them. You need to set funds aside in anticipation of spending. All right? So maybe that's 10% of your income, your total income, your total sales. Whatever it is, it needs to be part of your budget. So, now that you've got these numbers, oh my gosh. I think they think I'm talking to them. Now that you've got these numbers, I want to show you the spreadsheet. This is Aaron's spreadsheet, and you can get your very own copy of this. I'm sorry, I did not. I know it's part of one of his classes. I think all you need to do is send him an email, tell him you're looking for the Our Success Group financial spreadsheet. Take a look at what he has to offer. You would be amazed at some of the things that will help you. But this spreadsheet has multiple tabs. They're all tied into each other. It's got wage calculations. Those are just some numbers I popped in there. It's got expenses. And if you look, it's got your totals. And then these are monthly. These are all month columns by month. And then it gives you an average. And that average is what's going to help you calculate your pricing. It's got a page here for product produced pricing. What is the raw cost? What is the item that you're building? What are the expenses? What are your labor and overhead? Those are pulled in from the other sheets. It's very, very, very concise, very helpful. What is this one? Pricing guide. God. All right, guys. I have 2 cats here. They both want to occupy the same space. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. But this is the spreadsheet. Now, you don't have to have a big old fancy spreadsheet. Pen, paper, and a calculator will do the job. Once you have all of your expense numbers, you want to break those down into a common denominator. Do you remember those in fractions? Where am I going? You want to break them down into a common denominator. For example, you buy your thread cones, each cone. You buy your stabilizer in a roll. But that stabilizer is going to cover multiple items, multiple stitch outs. So we need to break it down into a common denominator. God, what is the best way to explain this? Oh, thanks, Barb. Today, our success group YouTube channel Saturday broadcast is at 2 p.m. today. Let's see. And our success group is the channel. Baby, I got to put you down, okay? I really do need 2 hands. All right. All right, so you need to break things down into a common denominator. Whether it be your overall average monthly expenses or how much does it cost per millimeter or meter of thread. Yeah, where do I want to go next? So set those numbers aside. Once you have your expense numbers, set those aside. Now I want you to figure out how many hours a month you can work. Actually in production. Some of us are doing this part-time in our home, so maybe we can only work Saturday and Sunday, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. So maybe we're not doing 40 hours, your regular work week. We're only doing 16, 18, 20 hours in that period of time. Others, maybe you are working from home and you're going to push it and you do an average of 60 hours a week. With those hours, it's not just anything that you do to produce your product. All right? Those are labor hours. How many hours a month do you work? Okay. I work a 40-hour week. I have calculated my expenses. What are my average expenses per month? Oh, I got to do something about my budget. They're about $4,500 a month. Remember, I'm doing this full-time. You guys might be doing part-time. My expenses, in my opinion, seem to be out of control, so I'm going to really look at that this next year. But my expenses are approximately, in my 40-hour week, are approximately $1,046 a week. But I need to know how many units I need to produce per day to cover those expenses. So I'm going to break this down into how much my expenses are in a per hour. And again, it's all in the math. And again, mine is $26 an hour. So in an 8-hour day, I need to make $26 every hour for 8 hours. So, to go with that, you need to know how many units you can produce in that hour. Okay. If I can make 2 units in an hour, my per unit cost is $13. That's pretty good. That's a decent price. If it takes me 2 hours to make 1 unit, my unit cost is $52. So now you know how much your unit cost is. You need to determine how much you're going to charge for that unit. And the thing that you want to remember is you need to find a balance between what your market, the people in your area, are willing to spend and your pricing. If I had to charge $52 for one patch, a little 4x4 patch, and this is an extreme exaggeration, I don't think I'd be able to sell that patch. Because the people in my market will not buy it. They're not going to spend $52 on a patch that they can, go to the local store and all they want to do is cover a hole. So you gotta balance between what your fee structure is and what your market will pay. Now, again, to help you with this, where are we? I don't know. Okay, I know. Sorry. Are you guys still with me? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose my thought here. So you know what your expenses are. You know how much your wages are going to be. Thank you, Barb. You know what your wages are going to be. You know how many hours you're going to work. All of these numbers come together to help you calculate your pricing. I've showed you Aaron's website address. Thank you, Jesse. His website address. I've showed you his spreadsheet. Amazing spreadsheet. All those numbers just carry forward. I have one other I want to show you. Our friends at the Embroidery Nerds have a website, embroiderynerd.io. Do I have that on here somewhere? There we are. embroiderynerd.io. They have this website, and there's 2 tiers to it. There's the free to use tier, and then there's the annual membership tier. The free to use tier includes these six really awesome tabs. And the one I want to focus on today is the pricing calculator. And this is pricing for your unit pricing. And remember, you've done all of your expenses. You've calculated how much per hour you have to make. So it has a place here where you can put in your per hour fee. Also tells you, you want to put your machine speed. This is primarily for embroidery, for machine embroidery. But you fill in the different fields here. And let's do this with 15,000, 800 stitches per minute. My garment cost me $15. How many of these am I making? No, I don't want quantity. I want that. My garment cost me $15. Based on these numbers, with a 15,000 stitch design file, it would cost $30.63 per unit. That's what I should charge my client, my customer. This is a really, really handy, very handy pricing calculator for embroidery. So again, we've got Erin Montgomery, who is, let me turn that off. OurSuccessGroup.com. He's got a couple of YouTube channels. He's got several programs to help you build your business, understand the balance between you and your business. And we have the embroidery nerds. Okay, people. All right. I think we got it. Still getting used to this new group, this new streaming service. I hope I covered everything. If you have any questions, that's not it. If you have any questions, you can reach me. Oh, for crying out loud. You can reach me at quick2stitch.com. Sorry. You all have a great weekend. Thanks, Jesse. I'm sorry, I got a little flustered there. But you all have a good weekend. Wasn't that fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quick2stitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machine,